What's up, guys? Kevin Parkinson here, back with another episode of Father's Win. Now, this is going to be an interesting hearing because ultimately we've got a dad represented by his attorney. Now, all the dad wants is the court to put together a final parenting order, if you will, or final parenting orders, as it's described in certain jurisdictions, and have him maintain, get this, sole decision making, or the sole decision making ability for the child involved. Now, due to concerns over non-compliance, what that means is he's got a parent, a co-parent. She don't want to listen. She don't want to follow no instructions. So he's saying non-compliance, all right? That term down, if you guys will. And he's saying that there is a need to avoid going back to court repeatedly for several reasons. It costs money. It costs time. This is time and energy that can be put towards loving this child. So the dad is making a really good point, but mom is getting really cantankerous.
That doesn't work for me. I don't know how much more.
May I say something?
I'm talking, and when you keep interrupting me, I can't tell you how frustrating that is. I've had that conversation with you so many times. I don't interrupt you. Please don't interrupt me. Okay? I can't tell you how difficult it is understanding the difficulties of navigating this the judicial system for this case. I don't know how much more accommodating the court can be, frankly. We had a trial. I could have made a ruling that very day, and I gave you an opportunity to provide information to the court. And I'm here 2 months later, and I have nothing. And I have information that Ms. Winkles filed where she was trying to help you file this information and show you how to do that. Okay. It's email exchanges, you and back and forth that she's filed with me, telling you exactly what you need to do, and I still have nothing.
Let's see what the judge says.
So I am happy to hear from you. Please let me know.
And he said, no. They told him that, the ROI has been done. You contact, and they've contact. I was told by that lady, and it showed in my account, supposedly that's what she said, was that they have already contacted over my assessments and stuff. So that's why I'm getting upset, because I'm extremely concerned on why people are lying so much. Like, I don't understand it.
Okay, let me pause it right there. This is Father's Win, but I'm gonna give some game for anybody watching who isn't a father. When you have science-backed evidence involved with a court procedure, the best thing to do is to explain yourself and not try to defend yourself or deny the evidence. So there is the allegation of narcotics being involved, and then we also have information about even a drug test being involved. So instead of mom sitting here and explaining what she's going through or what kind of help she needs or how she is working toward being a really good co-parent, now all of a sudden people are lying. That makes you look like you're on drugs. And it goes both ways for dads too, but this is Father's Win. We're trying to be as fair as we can here. But it gets a little worse, because what we're going to do now is we're going to take a look at even more frustrations. And mom is going to be shouting over the proceedings. I can't get my child back. That's my baby. Let's take a look at what you really should not be doing inside the courtroom. And then we're going to get into why this dad won. I think it's pretty clear as of right now.
The moment it's done, but if I haven't put it in there, that's what I would suggest, just so we don't come back and it's still missing and it looks bad. Maybe as soon as she gets done, if it's done in a week, if it's done in 3 weeks, however long it takes, she could just stick a motion in the court and we can come back. I thought I had it at the end of the evaluation part, that she has to do it in 60 days and then she can motion the court. Otherwise it stays the same. But I've done so many parenting plans for this case, I'll be honest with you.
Right.
I can't remember.
It does say, okay, so Ms. Erickson, listen very carefully. It says, after obtaining the relevant evaluation, you can petition the court. And I'm going to say petition the court, and it says to begin weekend visitation. And here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to change the language here. So after obtaining the relevant evaluation. The mother, and this is going to basically be an agreement between Miss Erickson and Miss Winkles.
I think we can all agree we hate to see a mom cry like this in court, but there is such a lack of empathy for men. When we see it on the other foot, it's going to crush any human to see a mom cry like this. But there are allegations of narcotic abuse. There are allegations of not following the parental plan. I mean, even Attorney Winkles has said, I am tired of the amount of paperwork that I have had to write for this docket, meaning somebody's not following the rules of the court. And Judge Fassett, she seems pretty frustrated with mom also. These judges are doing a good job in some places of being more fair. And the chickens are coming home to roost in family court across the country.
The mother may...
Can I get my custody back?
Can you hold on?
Is there a way to do that?
The mother may begin weekend visitation. So evaluation's done, mother starts weekend visitation. Once the evaluation is done and all the parties have received the report, then mother may petition the court a change in the parenting plan without an adequate cause finding. Is that once we have the evaluation, everybody's seen the evaluation and been able to weigh in on the evaluation, you come back to court and then we look at the parenting plan and decide what is best moving forward. Once we have that information. Once you've done the evaluation, your weekend visitation would start. Does that make sense? Go ahead and ask the question, Ms. Erickson.
I'm so sorry.
Don't
after I do the collateral, I don't have money
This
for an
is rough.
attorney because that man stole our money.
Oh boy.
I don't know what to do. It's our baby, but he just now came into the picture.
I understand that, and that's why we're dealing with this. So I'm not ordering any fees, so I'm taking any judgment as requested, so I'm not taking any fees. And I'm going to mute you again here, and we need to keep our record.
I went ahead and I stopped sharing the screen. Now that's rough. That sucks. It's terrible, but it is what it is. And the situations that we find ourselves in are usually a culmination of the choices that we make in life. And she is alleging, hey, he's just now coming back into everybody's lives and this isn't fair, but a man has a right to his children. So I wrote some information up that I want you guys to write down. Now, according to this hearing, the dad won this session because, again, we talked about this earlier, non-compliance, guys. Non-compliance with court orders. If you have a co-parent, a baby mama, and she don't want to listen, go to court. I know there's a fear of child support. Trust me, I'm in that fight with you guys, but go to court. If she doesn't listen, if she's practicing parental alienation, if she's not letting you see the children, go to court. And then that way you have a roadmap of what she needs to be doing. And if she's not doing it, she's gonna, or at least you have the opportunity to make her be held accountable. All right, guys? So dad was calm. Dad got a lawyer. Dad showed consistent follow through on all of his requirements. That's something that you guys didn't see. Dad hasn't done anything wrong. He hasn't messed up. Okay, guys? So the mom, she unfortunately failed to file paperwork that was necessary by the deadline before the hearing. So she could have gotten things like evidence and things like that into the docket. And she failed to provide or secure a collateralized mental health evaluation. The judge said you need to get your brain checked. That doesn't mean like a brain scan, guys. That means like a trained professional sits down with your co-parent and says, I am going to interview you and decide whether or not you are fit to be a parent. Now, if you think your baby mom is crazy, you can petition the court to ask for a mental evaluation. And that's something a lot of us men do not do enough. Ask. Now, of course, the judge can say no, or depending on your jurisdiction, there might be a lot of hoops to jump through to get that done. But If you think your baby mom is crazy, ask for her to get a mental evaluation. There's nothing wrong with it, guys. Then there's evidence, clear evidence of cooperation. The father's attorney did an amazing job of, at least according to her, trying to help mom. She was trying to help mom, and she said she submitted email exchanges showing that the mom was informed of what she needed to do. So the attorney for the dad is saying, look, I've got a heart. I'm not trying to throw this lady under the bus. I gave her a step-by-step play on how to make this work. She failed to do anything. So there's the possibility there. The judge is thinking, okay, dad and his attorney did what's called a good faith effort. Write that term down. A good faith effort to prove that they were trying to do what was in the best interest of the child's mom. And that in return would be in the best interest of the child. And mom still didn't move on it. So there's that. Then there is the father, according to the attorney, showed successful testing. So the father successfully completed a hair follicle test. Say, hey, I'm clean. There's nothing wrong with me. And that was major because it shows that he had nothing to hide, guys. And then also it showed that, or according to the attorney, he never missed any of his weekend visitation, which means that he's building a bond with his child. So it's very hard to now say, okay, he's just coming back in the child's life and he's just doing this to attack mom. Nah, it looks like he's clean, he's living an upstanding life, and he is maximizing his time with his child. That's big, guys. Okay, guys? And then there is the ending. Mom gave the waterworks. I'm not going to call them crocodile tears. I know those are real tears. But this is reality. This is real life. And this is where us as men have the advantage. We don't have to be emotional to get things done, even when we are in emotional or physical pain. And that is a superpower we as men have. We're not greater than women. We don't, this isn't a channel or a beating down on women. I'm saying you tap into that superpower, guys. Tap into that superpower. Follow your court orders at all times. Maintain communication with the court at all times. In some jurisdictions, you guys have those guardian ad litems, which are like quasi lawyers that represent the kids. Check in with them whenever they want you to. Submit everything they ask you to in terms of paperwork. If they want you to do a mental health evaluation, do it. If they want you to submit hair follicles, do it. Drug tests, do it. Do it. Show that you are here for your child, guys. And then document all of your efforts. Everything that you're trying to do for your child or to remain in your child's life. Document it. Stay in your child's life, guys. This shows that you are in it for the long haul and that you're here to be in your child's life. Now, there's a lot more to this hearing. Just, a lot more than I even wanted to show here because it got really sad. But ultimately, this dad is in a winning position, a very winning position, and it's only going to be up from here. So if you ever find yourself in a situation where you're like, okay, what am I doing with my child's mother because things aren't working out for me, you might have a lot more leverage going for you than you realize. All right, guys, what did I miss? What did I overlook? Let me know. Drop a comment. I'll catch you guys on the next episode of Father's Win. Peace.